If it's green and leafy, it must be good for me. That's what many of my older patients believe, especially those trying to manage chronic kidney disease, high creatinine levels, or recurring kidney inflammation. But here's the truth I wish more people knew. Certain vegetables, the very ones we consider healthy, can silently overload your kidneys and push them closer to failure. Yes, even the ones you've been told to eat more of. When your kidneys are struggling, whether it's stage 2 chronic kidney disease or you're nearing dialysis, their ability to filter waste, potassium, phosphorus, and oxalates becomes dangerously limited. The tiniest mistake in your diet can lead to muscle weakness, irregular heartbeat, fluid retention, nausea, and sky-high creatinine levels. I've seen patients follow what they thought was a clean or plant-based diet, only to feel worse within weeks, exhausted, bloated, lightheaded, hopeless. The pain goes beyond physical symptoms. It's the constant fear every time you sit down to eat. Will this food make things worse? Will my numbers spike again next week? That tension, living with a body that's silently breaking down, can wear down even the strongest spirit. Science supports this concern. A 2020 study published in Clinical Nutrition found that certain vegetables high in potassium and oxalate contribute to increased kidney stress in individuals with impaired renal function, especially when consumed frequently and in large portions. And unlike salt or sugar, these elements don't have obvious warning signs. You won't taste high potassium in a spinach salad. You won't smell oxalates in a bowl of Swiss chard, but your kidneys will feel it. That's why today, we're going to look deeper into the vegetables you should avoid or severely limit, and more importantly, the ones that can actually support and protect your kidneys, even if they're not as flashy or famous. Because eating right for kidney health isn't about following trends or eating what sounds healthy. It's about knowing what your kidneys can safely process and what they can't. And once you understand this difference, you'll never look at your plate the same way again. Spinach has long held its place as a superfood, praised for its iron, fiber, and vitamins. But for anyone with chronic kidney disease or reduced kidney function, spinach can quietly become a dangerous trigger that makes everything worse. The issue lies in two hidden compounds inside those green leaves: oxalates and potassium. Spinach contains an extremely high amount of oxalates, which are natural substances found in many plants. When your kidneys are healthy, they filter out oxalates without much trouble. But when your kidneys are impaired, oxalates can build up, bind with calcium, and form painful kidney stones, or worse, contribute to tissue damage inside the kidneys themselves. It's not just a theory. Oxalate buildup has been directly linked to worsening renal inflammation and increased creatinine in patients with compromised kidney function. That's not all. Spinach is also packed with potassium, and this mineral, while essential in small amounts, becomes life-threatening when the kidneys can't eliminate it effectively. One cooked cup of spinach can contain over 800 milligrams of potassium. For someone with stage 3 or 4 kidney disease, that's already nearing the daily upper limit. The result? Irregular heartbeats, muscle weakness, numbness, and in severe cases, even cardiac arrest. You might notice symptoms like sudden fatigue after meals, shortness of breath, or feeling faint without any clear reason. Often, these signs are brushed off as age-related, but they're not. They're your body's way of saying, "I can't handle this anymore." Now, if you absolutely must include spinach in your diet, maybe it's part of a cultural dish or a recipe you love, there are ways to reduce its impact. Boiling spinach and discarding the water can help remove some of the potassium and oxalates. Never eat it raw. Raw spinach concentrates the very compounds your kidneys are struggling with. And forget smoothies. Blending raw spinach with fruit may sound healthy, but it's a fast track to trouble for anyone with kidney issues. Here's the warning I give every patient. Just because a vegetable is labeled healthy doesn't mean it's safe for your kidneys. Spinach, for all its strengths, is simply too risky when your body can't filter toxins like it used to. The consequences may not show up immediately, but over time, it builds up, and your kidneys quietly pay the price. Just like spinach, Potatoes are often seen as a harmless staple, comforting, filling, and easy to prepare. But for someone with weakened kidneys, potatoes carry a hidden danger that can quietly overload your system: potassium. One medium-sized baked potato contains over 900 milligrams of potassium, nearly half of the daily recommended limit for someone in stage 3 or 4 chronic kidney disease. When your kidneys are no longer filtering efficiently, this mineral can build up quickly in the bloodstream. And unlike sodium, potassium doesn't cause thirst or bloating. It quietly affects your heart and muscles. High potassium, or hyperkalemia, may first feel like vague fatigue, tingling in the fingers, or muscle cramps. But when levels climb too high, it can trigger serious heart rhythm disturbances, even leading to cardiac arrest in extreme cases. In fact, a 2014 study published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that patients with chronic kidney disease and potassium levels above 5.5 mmol divided by L had a significantly increased risk of hospitalization and death. So what if potatoes are part of your regular meals and hard to give up? There is one method that helps: the double boiling technique. You peel the potato, cut it into thin slices, boil it in water, then discard the water and boil it again in fresh water. This process can remove up to 50% of the potassium content. But even then, the potato still contains a substantial amount, and it should only be eaten occasionally and in very small portions. At the end of the day, no matter how familiar or comforting it feels, a food like potatoes doesn't get a free pass. If your kidneys are struggling, even the most ordinary foods can quietly make things worse. And the cost often shows up too late when the damage is already done. If spinach is the silent saboteur and potatoes the familiar trap, then Swiss chard is the master of disguise. Bright, vibrant, and often praised as a nutrient-dense green. But for someone living with kidney problems, that rainbow-colored leaf may be doing far more harm than good. Swiss chard is loaded with both potassium and oxalates, a double threat for anyone with compromised kidney function. These two compounds, when not filtered properly, can turn every meal into a silent assault on your kidneys. Potassium, as we've discussed, puts direct stress on your heart, but oxalates? They're like microscopic crystals that can embed themselves in kidney tissue, sparking inflammation or contributing to the formation of stones. For kidneys already overworked and underperforming, this is a recipe for rapid decline. I remember a patient named Linda, 66 years old, who came in feeling drained, bloated, and confused by her rising creatinine levels. She had been trying her best eating clean every day. Her favorite lunch? A spinach and Swiss chard salad with a drizzle of olive oil. She had no idea her healthy choice was flooding her body with compounds her kidneys simply couldn't handle. Once she stopped and switched to safer vegetables, her energy returned, her labs stabilized, and that constant fog began to lift. The signs of excess potassium and oxalate aren't always loud. You might feel unusually tired after eating. Maybe your legs cramp at night. Maybe you're urinating less, or retaining fluid in your hands and feet. These aren't random signs of aging, they're your kidneys waving a red flag. If for some reason you truly enjoy Swiss chard and don't want to let it go entirely, here's the safest route. Boil it thoroughly and throw out the water. This helps reduce both oxalate and potassium content, though not entirely. Never eat it raw, never juice it. And never assume that something bright and beautiful on your plate is harmless, especially when your kidneys are already working overtime. The truth is, kidney care isn't about avoiding all vegetables. It's about choosing the right ones, in the right form, at the right time. Swiss chard might look like a healing food, but for many it's a wolf in leafy clothing. It's not always the flashy foods that cause the most damage. Sometimes it's the simple, everyday ingredients, the ones hiding quietly in your kitchen, in your pantry, or simmering gently on your stove. And tomatoes, especially in the form of sauces, may be one of the sneakiest culprits when it comes to kidney strain. Tomatoes are naturally high in potassium, but the real danger begins when they're concentrated, like in tomato paste, pasta sauce, or even canned tomato soup. One small cup of tomato sauce can contain more potassium than an entire baked potato. And because sauces are often used generously, they can quickly tip your potassium levels into the danger zone, especially if your kidneys are already struggling to keep up. For someone with reduced kidney function, this kind of potassium buildup doesn't just stay silent. It can lead to tightness in the chest, weakness in the limbs, sudden dizziness, and even dangerous changes in heart rhythm. What's worse, many don't associate these symptoms with food. They blame age, medication, or stress, never realizing that their comforting bowl of spaghetti might be silently overloading their kidneys. Another hidden concern is that many tomato products, especially store-bought sauces, contain added salt and preservatives, which can further increase blood pressure and water retention, both of which are serious threats for anyone with chronic kidney disease. Now, if you absolutely crave the richness of tomato in your cooking, there are a few ways to make it safer. Use fresh tomatoes in small amounts and cook them at home without salt. Avoid canned products unless they're specifically labeled as low potassium or kidney-friendly. Diluting tomato sauce with water or mixing it with low-potassium vegetables can also help reduce the impact per serving. And of course, portion control is key. A spoonful can add flavor, but a full ladle can cause trouble. Tomatoes may seem innocent, even nourishing, but when your kidneys are fragile, it's no longer just about the nutrients a food contains. It's about whether your body can safely process them. And in the case of tomatoes, moderation isn't just a good idea, it's a necessity. After navigating a minefield of dangerous greens, it's a relief to meet a vegetable that truly wants to help: cabbage, the humble healer. It may not boast the vibrant colors of Swiss chard or the rich flavor of tomatoes, but when it comes to kidney support, cabbage is like a quiet nurse, working behind the scenes, gentle, reliable, and incredibly effective. Cabbage is naturally low in potassium and oxalates, making it an ideal choice for those with chronic kidney disease, but its power doesn't stop there. This leafy vegetable is rich in vitamin K, vitamin C, and sulfur-containing compounds called glucosinolates, which have been shown to support liver detoxification and reduce systemic inflammation. Since your kidneys and liver work hand in hand to eliminate waste, cabbage helps lighten the load on both. One study suggested that cruciferous vegetables like cabbage may have a protective effect against oxidative stress, a major contributor to kidney damage. The antioxidants in cabbage work like microscopic shields, reducing the harm caused by free radicals circulating in the blood of people with impaired kidney function. For best results, I recommend including cabbage 2-3 times per week in your meals. It's affordable, accessible, and easy to prepare. Look for firm, tightly packed heads with crisp outer leaves. Avoid any that feel soft or show signs of browning. When it comes to cooking, steaming or lightly sautéing cabbage preserves its nutrients without adding too much salt or fat. If raw cabbage upsets your digestion, cooking it can make it more tolerable. And for those who find the flavor a little bland, here's a trick. Pair it with a splash of apple cider vinegar, a hint of garlic, or a sprinkle of caraway seeds. These simple additions elevate the taste without compromising kidney safety. Cabbage may not demand attention on your plate, but in the world of kidney care, it's one of your strongest allies. Quiet, dependable, and always on your side. If cabbage is the quiet nurse, then bell peppers are the cheerful bodyguards of your kidneys, bright, crisp, and loaded with healing power. These colorful vegetables aren't just pretty to look at. They're packed with the kind of nutrients your kidneys can handle and even thrive on. The magic lies in their low potassium content and high concentration of vitamin C, vitamin A, and powerful antioxidants like beta-carotene and quercetin. These compounds help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which are known to accelerate kidney damage when left unchecked. In fact, studies have shown that a diet rich in antioxidant-rich vegetables like bell peppers can slow the progression of chronic kidney disease, especially in older adults with elevated creatinine or high blood pressure. What makes bell peppers so versatile is that you can enjoy them raw, roasted, or sautéed without overloading your kidneys. For most people with stable kidney function, eating a half cup of chopped bell peppers 3-4 times a week is not only safe but beneficial. Red peppers tend to have the highest antioxidant levels, while green ones are slightly lower in sugar and calories. All colors, though, are kidney-friendly. When shopping, look for firm peppers with glossy, unblemished skin. Avoid soft spots or wrinkling. Those are signs the nutrients may already be degrading. Organic is ideal if you can find it, since bell peppers tend to retain pesticide residues more than some other vegetables. To prepare them, try grilling slices with a bit of olive oil, tossing raw strips into salads, or sautéing them with garlic and onions as a flavor base. If the raw taste feels sharp or too bitter, soak sliced peppers in a bit of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar for 10 minutes. This softens both the texture and the flavor, making them easier to enjoy. Bell peppers bring color, crunch, and calm to your plate, a perfect blend for kidneys that need both support and simplicity. Cauliflower is a low-potassium, low-oxalate vegetable that offers powerful support for kidney health. Its standout benefit comes from its high fiber content and a group of compounds called glucosinolates, natural detoxifiers, that assist the liver and kidneys in breaking down and eliminating harmful substances from the body. This makes cauliflower especially helpful for people with impaired kidney filtration, where waste buildup becomes a daily threat. Research has shown that increasing dietary fiber can reduce the production of uremic toxins, which are harmful substances that accumulate in the blood when kidneys aren't functioning well. By promoting regular digestion and improving gut health, cauliflower helps reduce the pressure placed on the kidneys to eliminate waste, essentially giving them a much-needed break. For individuals with chronic kidney disease, cauliflower can safely be enjoyed 2-3 times per week, in half-cup to 1-cup servings, depending on your stage of kidney function and dietary needs. Because it's low in potassium, it can often replace higher potassium side dishes like potatoes or squash. When selecting cauliflower, look for tight, creamy white heads with no dark spots or mushy areas. A slightly firm texture and fresh green leaves attached to the base are signs of freshness. Avoid heads that appear yellow or have a strong odor. Cooking is simple. Steaming or roasting cauliflower brings out its mild, nutty flavor while preserving nutrients. Avoid heavy creams or cheese sauces, which can add phosphorus and sodium. For a kidney-friendly flavor boost, try tossing roasted florets with turmeric and a dash of lemon, or pureeing steamed cauliflower with a little garlic for a smooth, comforting mash. If the flavor seems bland on its own, add a pinch of smoked paprika, fresh herbs like parsley or dill, or a drizzle of olive oil infused with garlic. These gentle pairings make it easier to enjoy regularly, without overwhelming your palate or your kidneys. Cucumber is one of the most kidney-friendly vegetables you can put on your plate. While it may not be as nutrient-dense as darker greens, its true power lies in its high water content, over 95%, and its naturally low levels of potassium and oxalates. For aging kidneys that struggle with fluid balance and waste filtration, cucumber offers gentle hydration without adding stress. Staying hydrated is essential for supporting kidney function, but many seniors with chronic kidney disease also battle fluid retention or high blood pressure. That's where cucumber shines. It acts as a natural mild diuretic, helping reduce bloating and supporting gentle urine flow without the harsh effects of medications or high-sodium foods. Its flavonoids and lignans also contribute to reducing inflammation in the urinary tract, which can be helpful for those prone to infections or discomfort. Cucumber is best enjoyed raw, thinly sliced or diced, in servings of half a cup to 1 cup per day, depending on your fluid restriction. You can eat it on its own, mix it into a salad, or add it to sandwiches for crunch. For maximum benefit, leave the skin on, as that's where most of the antioxidants and fiber are found. Just be sure to wash it thoroughly, or choose organic options when possible. Look for firm, dark green cucumbers with no soft spots or yellowing, and avoid the waxed varieties if you plan to eat the peel. Persian or English cucumbers are often milder in flavor and have fewer seeds, which makes them easier to digest for sensitive stomachs. To make cucumbers more appealing, especially if you're used to richer flavors, try infusing slices in cold water with mint or lemon, or toss them in a splash of apple cider vinegar with dill and a pinch of salt substitute. This simple preparation turns a plain vegetable into a refreshing kidney-friendly snack or side. Cucumber doesn't demand much, but in return it offers quiet, consistent support for a system that's already working hard. For tired kidneys, sometimes the gentlest foods are the most powerful. By now, it's clear that not all vegetables are created equal, especially when your kidneys are struggling. What's considered healthy in general can quietly become harmful when your body loses its ability to manage potassium, oxalates, and phosphorus effectively. That's why choosing the right vegetables isn't just about nutrition, it's about protection. The three biggest dietary threats for kidney patients are high potassium, high oxalates, and hidden phosphorus, often found in unexpected places like dark leafy greens, processed sauces, or even healthy smoothies. These compounds, when not excreted properly, can cause nerve issues, heart rhythm changes, fatigue, and worsen kidney inflammation. So, how do you navigate the produce aisle safely? Start by focusing on vegetables that are naturally low in potassium and oxalates. Options like cabbage, bell peppers, cauliflower, and cucumber are generally safer choices. But even then, portion size and preparation matter just as much as the vegetable itself. Cooking methods like boiling and steaming can help reduce harmful compounds, while avoiding raw, concentrated, or juiced forms can lower the risk of overwhelming your kidneys. If you're ever unsure, check your latest blood work. Potassium, phosphorus, and creatinine levels can guide your choices more than general advice. What works for one kidney patient may be risky for another, depending on stage and medication. Also, avoid falling into the raw is best myth. For kidney patients, raw vegetables often concentrate the very things you should be avoiding. Cooking not only makes digestion easier, it also helps remove some of the harmful substances that build up in failing kidneys. And finally, remember that vegetables aren't just food, they're part of your treatment. Choosing wisely, preparing them properly, and listening to your body can help lighten the load on your kidneys, reduce complications, and even slow disease progression. With the right guidance and a little awareness, your meals can shift from silent risk to silent support.